Alan, let's talk about Mickey 17. It is from Bong Joon-ho, the Oscar-winning director of the movie Parasite. This is his follow-up movie, delayed by a year or so because of strikes. It stars Robert Pattinson as Mickey, who is, I'm not going to lie, he's kind of a loser. It's kind of a loser. It's sort of a Jersey, sort of low, blue
low
collar
IQ Jersey.
Jersey blue collar accent, who is going on a colonizing mission to another planet. They're going to populate this other planet, the ice world of Nilfhelm, and there's the expedition is being led by the charismatic leader played by Mark Ruffalo, who is Kenneth Marshall, a failed politician, and his wife, played by Toni Collette. They're leading this mission, a religious mission, to another planet to colonize it. And Mickey Barnes signs up to be an expendable. What does that mean? His body can be destroyed through experiments, through accidents. They kind of send Mickey out in the field to do all the dangerous jobs. And when he is killed, they take his memories, transfer it to a new body that they print out. It is a great science fiction concept that they play to the humor. And things happen during this mission. We will get into the story. He meets Nasha Barrage, a security officer played by Naomi Aki, and he falls in love with her. He's kind of protective of Mickey because they have a lot of sex during the mission, which Kenneth Marshall forbid. I'm not going to go blow by blow with the story, but it leads to a conflict on the planet where some alien life forms are discovered, which may or may not have good intentions for humanity. And it comes to a showdown with the aliens with Mickey at the center. And things get even more complicated when Mickey 18 emerges. There can be no multiples. You cannot have two of one person existing at the same time. So one has to go. How this is resolved, I won't reveal. So no spoilers here for the moment. We will probably get into more spoilers later to discuss aspects of the movie. So you have been warned. I have a lot of problems with this movie, but Alan, I want to know what you think.
Yeah, this is the second 2-hour, 15-minute movie I saw, and it's too damn long. The third act goes on forever, and I just want this movie to end. I'm so tired, and I'm so uninterested in
Forget that long aspect. What are the problems with?
Well, I mean, that's a big problem. Is this third act that will not end in any way. The best part of this movie is the first 20 minutes where it just kind of goes into the whole idea of Mickey and the 17 iterations of him and why and all that. That's interesting. And then it gets us to this middle, the second act where they're going off into the future. There's the multiples going off into space. There's the multiples. You deal with that. But the problem with this movie, the biggest problem is character development. Especially the Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette characters. Mark Ruffalo plays this insane dictator type leader. And that's all it is just a guy who's insane and a dictator. There's no nuance to it. There's nothing to it other than that we're supposed to hate the guy.
Yes. And by the way, Mark Ruffalo, his performance, and Toni Collette, it's like they're in a different movie.
Yeah.
And to be clear, we'll do a separate news story on this later. He is Trump. It is very clear he is Trump. But wait a sec. Let me clarify this. Let me clarify.
No, I'm not saying a thing.
He is a parody of Trump that the left thinks what Trump is. And I'll say this. The right understands the left better than the left understands itself. So the left's vision of Trump, this is how the left sees Trump, as this manic, horrible figure. They make fun of people. His followers at the beginning of the movie are all people in red hats, and they're rabid followers in red hats. It's a little too on the nose, a little too on the nose. And I will say this, like, this is what's I find crazy about the left versus the right. People on the right don't like the policies of the people on the left, and people on the left don't like people on the right.
Yeah, personally.
It's listen to this distinction, right? It's like, look, people on the right don't hate people on the left. They just don't like those policies that, create rampant homelessness, lawlessness, a lot of crazy
Expectations of children and
yeah,
yeah.
crazy policies. But they don't hate the people. But the people on the left hate the people on the right, in spite of the policies. And that is made very clear in this movie. Now, in fact, I'm kind of the audience I was with didn't laugh so much at Mark Ruffalo's over the top performance. He was so smugging as Trump. It was infuriating. And the third act of the movie with the female lead, which Naomi Aki, Nasha Barrage, the character, Robert Pattinson is great in the movie. That's the best thing about this movie. It's the one reason to see it is Robert as Mickey and the multiple different versions of Mickey. The Mickey 18 is hilarious, very different than Mickey 17. And Mickey 18 has a different character arc. So well done. Nasha Barrage is just so girl bossy. It's insufferable. In particular, in the end of the movie, it's so lecturing. And I feel like this movie, because there's an on the nose line in the movie where it's like, he's a failed politician who lost his last 2 elections. This movie was assuming certain things would have happened in the real world, and they did not. I think this movie will do okay. In the end, it will not have legs, and it will bomb. But this on the nose way that the left looks at the right, it doesn't resonate. Why does it not resonate? Let me tell you why. It's not true.
It's not authentic.
It's not authentic. It's not true. Alan, you know about comedy. You perform it often. What gets the biggest laughs?
It's the thing people connect with. Del Close wrote a book called Truth in Comedy. Comedy has to find a foundational nugget of truth that we can all relate to in order for it to be funny.
Yes, that is absolutely right. And because the left's assessment or mocking of the right is inauthentic and not accurate, not true, doesn't get laughs, that's why they say the left can't meme. That's why SNL has not been funny since 2016, maybe longer.
You didn't find the State of the Union address funny and hilarious with signs and with all the sitting down on your phone while the president is speaking? You didn't find that hilarious?
I find it disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is what this comedy is.
Coming from the side that says they're the adults in the room, they surely didn't act like adults. Put this aside, it ruined the movie.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo's character, which they could have cut down, ruined the film. And this was probably shot at a time when people thought things were going to go a different way. Mm-hmm. When the movie assumed history would play out differently. The comedic aspects related to that character weren't funny. Even with the audience I saw it with in Burbank AMC 16 did not find it funny. It wasn't funny. Now, Robert Pattinson did it. He's so good. So good. Amazing. A great and such a great concept for a film. I like those aspects of it. In the end, I can't recommend it. 5 out of 10 for me. It's a maybe see it on streaming, but science fiction wise presented some fascinating issues. Like what does it feel like to die? Mm-hmm. And the question is never answered. It should have been explored. This movie could have been profound and it could have resonated with everybody. But as it is, it was used as a vehicle to attack half of the voters in the US, more than half. So I'm really sad. The trailers looked really funny. I was looking forward to it. Huge, colossal disappointment. Alan, your assessment. We'll go to
Yeah,
Colin.
I look. There are nods that Mark Ruffalo does to Trump. Part of it is the dance, the red
He
hats.
goes like this.
Yes, I know, I saw that, and
Come on.
but I'm gonna say, I don't think it's as bad as you're saying it is. But at the same time, you're right, because what science fiction is supposed to do is it's supposed to be a morality play. And it poses a question: what if you could never die, but in never dying, you're constantly dying? And that question is always being asked of what's it like to die? And does Mickey really like dying? Does he see, does he find hope and comfort in the fact that he'll come back again?
He knows
Those
he'll
are
come
great
back.
questions. Those are great questions to ask. And as you say, it's never answered.
All the great ideas are never explored.
The third, see, the question that's asked is that third act, with this conflict between the humans and the aliens, because, and the thing is, it's so predictable. And because that third act goes on so long, you know exactly where this story is going. There's no real surprise at all in that third act. And because you know where that third act is going, you're bored because you're waiting for the movie to catch up to you. And that's what I found myself, the position I found myself in watching this, of just get the story over with. I don't know why the third act occupies over half the movie. That's my biggest issue with this. Robert Pattinson, yeah, I mean, he created a good character. But everyone else, no, it's just a failure in storytelling, failure in character development, and failure in saying something about humanity. And I think that's what we really wanted. And I think had it said something about humanity, as you say, this would have been a deep and profound movie, because it had everything there to ask the right questions and find a way to answer it, and it failed to do it.
And the Mark Ruffalo as Trump dates the movie. This will not stand the test of time, and it had the opportunity to make some profound statements on life, and meaning that would relate to everyone, and ultimately a dud. Alan, do you recommend it? We'll go to comments.
No, absolutely not. No, save your 2.5 hours, because literally I had a half an hour of commercials and trailers leading up to this movie.